your presence. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, come on. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come fill this place, come fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be opened up by your presence. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, come on. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come fill this place, come fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be opened up by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, come on. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Yeah, you see, there's nothing in the world more that will ever come close. Woo. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of love, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, come on. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come pushed right now for the word, but I want to do one more worship. I know who you. Bring it up, bring it up, bring it up one more. The word of promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. We are here. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. You are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light. Way maker, come on, and way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the. What is he? He's a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. Slow it down. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. You are my way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the dark. Way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. You are here, moving in this place. We worship you. We worship you. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. 'Cause you are a way maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God. I know who you are. Yeah, for them. I don't mind sweating, but they want to turn on. All right, normally we can play for our guests. We play for an hour or two. When we get into worship, we don't make no bones about it. Sometimes we do more worship than we have word. Turn down, Roy. I'm competing with that. But today, I want to share this. I don't know why. Now, I'm reading out of the Sefer Bible that does not have the English names or the changed names that are in the English King James Version. I'll call it a mistransliteration, because some of the Greek words are mistranslated. And if you don't go study for yourself, you won't know. So don't take my word for it, because the Bible says you study. You study. That you show who? Not pastor approved. He said you study that you show yourself approved of God, being able to rightfully discern that which is good and that which is evil. I'm not sure if I got the testimony right, but I'm going to share it so they know how you got here. I believe it was you, correct? Told your mom, say, what'd you say? So how, okay, let me ask the question. Maybe I ought to ask the question first. So how did you get to be here?
Like in the church?
Yeah.
So, like I seen like your video on Facebook, and I wanted to check your church and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going out.
Yeah. I always tell people, you know, it's not a matter of how many people are watching. It's who's watching. Because quality is better than quantity. Any day. Jesus didn't have 12,000 disciples. He had 12. Okay? And even in those 12, some betrayed him. Some couldn't stay awake at night praying with him. Only one was at the cross with him or stood before one. So even in your closest circles, you got an inner circle, because Yahushua, whom they call Jesus, I'm gonna call his name like his mama called him, Yahusha or Yahushua Hamashiach. What's going on? His mama called him Yahusha or Yahashua. Okay, Jesus is the Latin translation. Esau is the Arabic translation. We're gonna call them. We're gonna put the names back the way they were in the original text. Because when I say Jesus in America, the moment I say Jesus, a name has something behind it. And when I say Jesus, you think white man, blonde hair, green eyes. Okay? No. Okay, he was a Hebrew. Okay? He spoke Hebrew. And the proper pronunciation is he was a Yasharalite. Not Israelite, but he was a Yasharalite from the tribe of Yahudah. Okay? And in this book, God, we don't say God, we don't say Lord. We say Elohim, Elohaya, or we say Yahuwah. The name is Yahuwah. So that's why when we came over on the slave ships, we were singing what? Kumbaya. Okay? Because his name is,
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so his name is Yah, and he said, if my people who are called by my name. So when you look at slavevoyage.com, you will see that all the slaves that were brought all over to the four corners of the earth had one thing common in their name, and that was Yah. Zephaniah, Obadiah, Yehemiah. Okay? So he wasn't talking to everybody.
Right.
Then people want to, God love everybody. No. He said, let the wheat and tares grow together. He would separate them. Okay, everybody not going to make it in. And this whole Bible is about one people, Yasharalites. And when you got saved, you became an Israelite. You didn't become a Christian. You didn't become a Baptist, a Pentecostal, a Presbyterian, a Catholic. These are all man-made things. That's why in the Bible it says there are those that are Israel that are not of Israel. Why? They weren't blood-born, but because they were willing to keep Yahuwah's statutes, laws, and commandments, they became Israel. Okay? Why? The Bible said, because of the circumcision of their heart, they became a law unto themselves who the law was not given to. Okay? That's why Paul made the argument. He said, well, what profit then to be a Jew? He said, very much so, because to us was given the law. Now I'm gonna get to my I don't even want to sound like these preachers. The subtext of my title. I mean, I'm gonna listen. I'm like, you guys, come on, man, just read the book. So we coming from Matthew 7 for all us simple folk.
Yes. Yes.
Verse 21, 22, and 23. Now we were Christianized and we were taught that we under grace and there is no law. Now how many people know the definition of iniquity? The definition of iniquity is lawlessness. So you can't have grace without the law. The grace was given to you because you couldn't keep the law. Grace, if you study what grace is a time period. From this point to this point. So God had to impute into us grace to give you an opportunity to get yourself together. Because if grace is always imputed, then there's no need for judgment.
Right.
If I'm completely under grace, then judgment don't come to the house of Yah first. Because I'm just going to say, I'm going to plead the blood. I'm under grace. I know what I did, but grace. No. Grace was a time period for Israel to wake up. Like he said in the book of Zephaniah, I will cause you to remember who you are in the land of your captivity. So he allowed grace for a time so that we could wake up and so that the gospel will be preached to who? The Gentiles. Now y'all was taught you was Gentiles. I'm going to show you that's a lie. Genesis 10:2. Oh man, I'm not even going where I said I was going to go. God do it. Genesis 10:2. I can't do it this way because then it's going to lead into other stuff, Lord. God, like, I don't care. Read it the way I tell you. Okay, Genesis 10:2 says, now these are the generations of the son of Noach, Shem, and Ham. It's not pronounced Ham, it's pronounced Ham. And Japhet, okay? Because there's no J in the original Hebrew language. Not Japhet, but Japhet. And unto them sons were born after the flood. So I'll read it like this. Noah had 3 kids, 3 sons. Well, he had more than 3 kids, but he had 3 sons. Shem, Ham, and Japhet. He said, now the sons of Japhet. Now this is the sons of Japhet. Now for all you folks out there on Facebook land, I want you to go get a map of Magog, M-A-G-O-G, that's mentioned in Revelation, and Agog, A-G-O-G. Okay, so you'll know who, because what the devil did was keep changing names. Don't believe me? Every black person in here ain't got a Hebrew or African name at all. Y'all running around here with your slave master's name. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's not racist.
Nope.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Amen.
Ain't no Jarvises in this Bible. I don't see Jones in the Bible. McGarry, McGee, or you know what I'm saying? Or I don't see no Perinis, Gilbanes. I don't see no English, Italian. I don't see no Spanish, Portuguese. I don't see no. It's not. You won't find none of them names in this Bible. So Satan did a trick. The same way he changed Yah's name in the Bible from Yah to God, he changed your name. That's why he said, the ox knows its crib and the sheep knows its owner, but my people does not consider. Israel doesn't know who they are. Are you with me right now? So you ain't never heard this.
No, I have not.
I'm going to mess with your...
in the first 10 minutes.
I'm going to mess with your eschatology. Call Pastor Porter, ask him what that is. But anyway, no, just kidding. Say, now these are the generations of the sons of Noach. Not Noah, Noach. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And unto Japheth were sons born after the flood. So we're dealing with Japhet right now. Okay? Said the sons of Japhet were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshach, Thyrak. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. Anybody ever hear that word before, Ashkenaz? Ashkenazi Jews?
No.
Okay. That's who lives in Jerusalem now. Bastards. They don't belong to them. Those are the Jews of Revelation 2:9. Now I got a segue. Y'all done heard this a million times. They haven't. Now, why won't pastors preach to you or teach to you about Revelation 2:9? What does Revelation 2:9 say? I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews, but are not. They do lie. They are the synagogue of Satan.
Amen.
Now, if there was a church of the devil and the Bible called them out, as a pastor, ought I not to warn you about the synagogue of Satan?
Yes.
And if there were some people who were claiming to be God's people, and God said they not, and not only are they not my people, but they're the synagogue of Satan. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and we know that these are Ashkenazi Jews that came over from Europe. Okay, they're not from the Middle East. There was no Middle East before. It was all known as Africa. Before that, it was all known as Ethiopia. They don't change. They constantly change the name. They change your name 5 or 6 times. Negro, Negroid, colored people, black people, Afro-American, African-American. Come on now.
Yes, yes.
And every time they give you a name, you take it on. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, true. Yes, sir.
So write this down. 1747 map of Negro land. So it says these are the sons of Yafet. Gomer, Magog, and Madai, and Yavan, Tubal, and Meshach, and Dirach, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Rephath, and Togarmah, and the sons of Yavan, Elisha, and Tarshish. You know what? Anybody know who Tarshish is? Tarshish is Spain. Magog and Agog, that's Russia. So I'm going to keep reading. Kittim, okay, and Dodanim, by these were the isles of the Gentiles. That's what it says. Divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nations. Now, when you go look up the map of all these names, you will start from Portugal, Spain, head on over to Italy, Rome, Sicily, head on over there, from Russia, Ukraine, go on over there, cross the mountains, you into Asia, now Japan, Philippines, those are Moabites and Ammonites. Those are the isles of the Gentiles. Okay? Now, let's look up now this is a Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Now, you know they've been calling us Negroes for God knows how long. Since the beginning. Y'all gonna have to forgive me because I don't have my glasses, but I'm gonna read it. It says Ham, or Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood. Did we read about Noah's? Okay, 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. We not Africans. That's why they don't like us.
No, not us, but
Ham is Africans.
Yeah.
So we're not Hamites. Because it says right here in their Bible, that's Zondervan. That's what, when you go to seminary school, they give you this. See, they knew that if you wanted to hide something from a Negro, put it in a book. In plain sight. In plain, it's right there. It's right there. He said, not the Negro. Wait, I'm going to read it further. It said, and see, they made a distinction. See? Why? Because God, we are peculiar people.
Yeah.
Okay? We not like them Africans. We weren't into all them Egyptian gods and voodoo and all this other mess. That's not what we came. We came over here singing Kumbaya. Not what they sing? Not Allah Akbar. We came singing Kumbaya, Lord.
Yes, sir.
Come by here, Lord. Rakamasa'u anataba rahamak, which means rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Shema, Yasharal, Yahuwah, Eloheinu, Yahuwah, Echad. That's our language. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. The Lord our God is. That's us. Somebody stole your driver's license. Psalm 83. Write that down. All the nations were confederate against Israel to wipe them off the face of the earth. Pastor don't preach on that. What nations? Well, he just mentioned them. Go to Joel chapter 3, he'll tell you. I'm going to bring all these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat and plead with them therefore my people, Israel and Yehudah, because for what they did to them. They sold a boy for a harlot and a girl for wine. Ain't they doing that to us still? Yeah. And I scattered Judah to the four corners of the earth. Go look at the transatlantic slave trade. Where were the slaves brought to? All of Caribbeans, North America, South America, UK, all over the place we scattered. Are these so-called Jews in Israel scattered? No, they came from one place. They came from Europe, and it wasn't until the 1900s, 1917 Balfour Declaration, in 1948, when Israel, quote-unquote, became a nation by some Europeans, that God said these are the isles of the Gentiles. And when Yahushua was being commissioned by the disciples, when the woman was saying, would you please heal my daughter? What did he say? He said, is it meet to give food from the master's tables to the dogs? I was not sent, but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You never read that? You never Google that for your mama, please. Now, if Jesus said, I'm not sent, but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, how are you going to save Jesus for everybody? No. Paul was sent to the Gentiles. Said, I am not sent. Want me to find it for you? Okay, I'll get it to you. Okay, so let me. I'm giving them a whole lot. Slow down. Okay, I got you. They sitting there like, wait a minute. I ain't never heard this. I've been a Christian all my life. Took communion, paid my tithe, went to Bible study. Ain't nobody ever read this to me like this. He said, oh, let's go back to him. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but Egypt. And Egypt really is translated house of bondage. Their real name is Mitzrayim. Ethiopians, that's a Greek name. Libyans and Canaanites. Now, when you go look at a 1747 map of Negro land, where it says slave coast, okay, you know, slave coast, the Portuguese on the maritime map penned where it says slave coast, kingdom of Judah. But your pastor got you thinking you're a Gentile. Now, people say, well, what's the difference? What's so important about, that's about, you know, learning who you are. If God made a rose, let it be a rose. If he made dandelions, let them be dandelions. If he looked like me, don't paint him something else. If the truth, how you gonna say a lie don't matter and the truth don't matter either? That's nonsense. That's foolishness. Tell the truth. He said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. He said, I'm going to gather Judah from the four corners of the earth. I'm going to wake them up so that they can remember who they are. How you going to cry out to a God? You know, we worshiping white Moses, and people say color don't matter. If it don't matter, why you change his color? You got typecasting in Hollywood, right? If they got a role for a Spanish guy, they don't go looking for a white guy to play the part. You got to look like you're Spanish. So if Jesus was black, why are you getting a white all the time? I mean, we can't get one black Jesus.
That's true.
If it don't matter, you say it don't matter.
Amen.
Charlton Heston, oh, white dude, oh, long floor room. There's a part in the Red Sea, all these white Egyptians, white Romans. We're black people. That's why black people always asking, well, we don't see everybody in this Bible but us. And the whole book is about you from cover to cover. Cover to cover. Because when he come back, you would thought he was coming back like Santa Claus. I'm checking my lips, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's been naughty or nice. Been good, going to heaven. Been bad, going to hell. But you don't know what to be good is. Oh, we just don't smoke, don't drink. I don't see nobody in this Bible that had a crack problem. I seen some drunkards. They called Jesus a wine bibber, right?
Yeah.
He walked on water. They said Noah was a drunk till the rain started coming. He wasn't drunk then, huh? Wasn't drunk then, huh? 40 years, oh, I had a lane listen to that drunken fool. He built on him.
He was drunk when he built the ark.
He was drunk. I ain't see no drug epidemic in here, none of that. They got you repenting from the wrong things. But they got you on every wicked, evil, pagan holiday that the devil ever came up with. And you won't keep the feast of Yahuwah. See, you gonna understand, when I get to Matthew 7, now you going to understand Matthew 7 so much better when I get through all of this.
Right.
Because, you see, when you know somebody, you know everything about them.
Right.
You know what they like to eat, how they dress, their conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Every culture got a different laws, and you go to Spain, you can't do what you do in Spain, what you do in Italy. You can't do in Italy what you do in France. So when you say you know somebody, you know everything about them. These people fell in love with Jesus like it's a fairy tale. Oh, I love it. Okay. So, a name is important and an image is important because Yahuwah said, I created man in my image and in my likeness. So when you look at that pale-faced Jesus, or Paul, whose real name is Shaul, or Matthew, whose real name is Matityahu, or John, whose real name is Yohanan. See, when I say John, yeah.
Wow.
Now, when I say John, what do you think? You automatically think, some white dude.
Yeah, of course.
That's not his name.
Yeah.
I say Matthew, you think somebody. So does a name matter? Because you've been conditioned that when you hear, if I say Guido, who you think of? Pizza, right? Right?
Right.
If I say fried chicken, you think of black people. And Chinese people. Because they cooking up all of them. Y'all know it. And it's shame to yourself, man. Fried chicken from Chinese people. Whatever. So if I told you, if I say by no other name other than Yahusha, it's hard for your mouth to even pronounce it because you've been speaking the devil's language. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's the devil's language. That's why it's called Babylon, because they. Oh, come on, man. That's why he said when he come back in Zechariah, he said, "Well, I'm gonna give you what? A pure language." You see, the language that Yahuwah spoke is different from every other language in the world. It influenced all other language, but it's not influenced in its original text by anything. It's the way that he communicated with his children. That's why he said, "My sheep know my voice," not just the sound. When you form words, they create sounds. Yahuwah.
Amen.
So he said, if my people who are called by my name, that's not everybody.
Amen.
Amen.
I didn't say it. Don't get mad at me. Preachers mad at me. Oh, you can't preach that.
Wow.
They're going to stop giving tithes and we're going to lose our congregation if you preach that. Yeah. Some pastor that you know, one-on-one, have told me that. God, I'm not afraid of nothing. Oh yeah, that you know, that we know. We know, some of them know it's the truth. We know that's the truth. But if we switch from Saturday to Sunday, we going to lose 50%. You mean your $146,000 a year punk pimp salary going to be cut in half. And you might lose your house. And your wife might leave you because you're broke now. That's what that's what they're really afraid of.
Right. Because it is run by a business like. It's running a business like sense.
It's pimps. They're hirelings, wolves in sheep's clothing. How in the world you going to come into the north end of Hartford where the average annual income ain't more than, say, $40,000, and I'm being generous, and you going to require your members to pay you $140,000 a year? You ain't nothing but a pimp. Book of Acts said they had all things, what? In common. And nobody had need of anything, and they considered their things not their own. I ain't seen a church like that ever. That's my seat. What you talking about, man? I sit here every Sunday. Don't sit over there. Oh, look at a nice car so-and-so got me, and she was driving right by sister so-and-so taking the bus. Pastor will wave to you on the way to church while you taking the bus. He living in the big house. That's no different from a plantation. Master live up in the big house, and all you need goes down in the field working to keep him fed. He running around with $500 and $800. Hey, well, he the pastor. Ain't nothing wrong with him having $500 and $800. Yes, there is if you ain't got one. I want I want you to be like me.
Right.
See, we've been so, I can't say the word, niggerized. No, we have. You a slave and don't realize it. You act like a slave and you don't realize God made you the head and not the tail, but you in the church and you the tail. You ain't lead. You don't own nothing in your community. Everybody in your community don't look like you. You aren't separate. Your kids go to school with unbelievers and they teach them all kind of crazy mess. You have no political power. You have no tax base, no rate. You ain't nothing. And you want people to serve your God? I wouldn't serve your God. Not me. I'm going to give all my money to this man, and he don't even live in town. He'll drive in for a few hours on a Bible study in a Sunday and got y'all all emotionally addicted junkies jumping up and down, foaming at the mouth, falling out on the ground, and you go home the same way and back. No. We're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. Everybody here going to prosper because the Bible said, Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
Amen.
Then they got you tricked and said, well, all the law hangs on these two. The key word is hangs. All the law hangs on these two. To love the Lord thy God with all thy soul. If you love Yahuwah,
Come on.
you're going to do his will. But the Bible said better to be what? Hearers of the word than doers of the word. But they don't teach you what to do.
Right.
They don't teach.
That's a big distraction.
They say, well, stop fornicating, don't drink, stop going to clubs, cover yourselves up. Well, that's out the window.
Way out.
Because the church is like a club now. Everybody fornicating, including the pastor. How you doing, Pamela?
How you doing?
And I got to say this. And everything about who you are is not about who he is. Christ didn't celebrate Christmas because it's pagan. It's Baal worship. They won't tell you that, but it's Baal worship. Jeremiah 10:2 actually forbids you to observe this holiday. I've never seen a rabbit lay an egg yet. That's the goddess of Ishtar. Thanksgiving is gluttony, which God said is one of the 7 deadly sins. And you go and feed yourself on pork and swine and everything else and chitlins and fatbacks and hog maws. The one animal in the Bible that God said don't do. Well, I'm under grace and everything. And then you got diabetes, gout, Crohn's, all because you thought it was some religious thing. No, don't eat it because it's not good for you. How's that? Daddy said don't do this because it's not good. I made you. I know what's good for the body that I made. I made you different from it. I have chosen you, Israel. That's how chosen you are. I have chosen you, black people, if you want, if you better understand it that way, I'll say it that way. But I have chosen this particular group of black people called Israel above all the nations of the earth to be a sign, because I'm going to give you my law. Matter of fact, when I come back for all you grace keepers, I'm going to put my law on the tables of your heart.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Okay, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to Matthew 7. I'm going to get there. See, they've heard this. But today's special just for you two. Let's go back to Genesis 10:6. And the sons of Ham are Cush, that's Ethiopia, Mitzrayim, that's Egypt, and Put, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Kapta, and Ramah, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. So we know that Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but not us, those are Africans. And we know that Yafet is the progenitor of the Gentiles, those are the light-skinned races, okay? Yeah. It's right there in the book. I read it to you, Genesis 10:2. I know you're going to, listen, y'all got so many cliche scriptures running around in your mind, it's going to take you a minute to remember some of these ones that these pastors won't preach on. They won't teach you. They preach at you, but they won't teach you. Okay, so we established after the flood, you know what I'm saying, how all the nations were divided. That's what it says. And then he said, these were the isles of the Gentiles divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, and in their nations. Okay, so we know the Africans were in Africa. The Hamites were over there. We know that the Yafets, okay, these are all up in Europe. Now, many will argue that Yafet was and this is really getting some deep theology. If you want to do some real study, they'll say that Noah had 3 black sons, but those that went into the Europe, into the Caucasus Mountains, into Europe, started intermingling with some other folks, some demonic angels, whatever. That's in Genesis. He said the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they went in unto them and created a whole hybrid race of people that are not us. And then God, that's the reason why God destroyed the earth in the first place. But some of those people survived after the flood. And that's why scientists today will say that there's a DNA on the earth that's not human. Well, see, if I tell you more about that, the FBI coming in and say he preaching hate, he a racist, this, that, and the other. Well, let me ask you a question then. If God created 2 sons, and by both those suns, things grow. People don't know. Moonlight is when plants grow. Sunlight is when they produce food. Photosynthesis. Okay? Photosynthesis. Okay? Don't you know this? You're all right. Make sure you come back. So we are governed by what? 2 lights. Put that white man in the sun. See what happened to him. If we are agricultural-based species, because that's what we are, our food comes from where? The ground. Supposed to anyways. Now we got GMOs. Okay? Everything, what did he say? When he gave us the first 4 or 5 commandments in Genesis, he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. So we are agricultural-based society. So the reason why we had slavery, because there are some folks that will starve. Because nowhere in the world you're going to get out there 10 and 15 hours with your pale-faced, non-melanated self, picking cotton, picking tobacco, growing. You can't do it. That's why 63% of the Ashkenazi Jews that are in Israel right now have skin cancer. Because they're out of their element. The melanin, see, what kills them produces vitamin D in us. If you have no melanin when the sun hits you, you don't produce vitamin D. We're 2 different sets of people. Now you can say we're all God's children. We can leave that. That's why I said I'm gonna let Jesus deal with that when he come back, because he said I'm gonna gather all these nations and plead with them for what you did to my people Judah, and y'all can figure it out then. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. Okay, so we were given two lights. And we know without that sun, nothing grows. And if you took the sun away, we would all die. Sun and water. That's what we need. Sun and water. We can go without food, but we can't go without water. In the beginning, the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. I have a river of life flowing out of me. I just wonder, I baptize you with water, but you understand what I'm saying? Everywhere in this Bible, you're going to see the significance of water. Your body is 75 to 85% water. All right, we just established that. And I don't hate anyone. I don't want anybody, oh, he hate white. I don't hate white people. I don't hate black people. I don't hate anybody. Except those that refuse to keep Yahuwah's statutes, laws, and commandments. Because the Bible said that if a stranger dwells among you, we're to treat them like family if they're willing to keep Yahuwah's statutes, laws, and commandments. So I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't want no homosexuals in my school teaching my children. I don't want no homosexuals in my neighborhood running around free like it's okay. He said, be ye separate and come out from amongst them. Occupy till I come. Occupy means to take over. We supposed to be different. None of this, oh, can we all Rodney King syndrome get along? I can't get along with you if you don't keep Yahuwah's statutes, laws, and commandments. Because you may want to go sleep with the sheep.
Yes, sir. Free.
It don't mean I ain't going to feed you or clothe you, this, that, and the other, but you can't stay over here.
Amen.
Not up in here. And certainly not up in the Lord's house. You're not going to switch back there, Z-snap, or none of that mess up in here, because why? He called it what? An abomination. Two people of the same sex can't live out Yahuwah's law. To be fruitful and what? Multiply.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere in this Bible, what was the first problem that they had with Israel? These people are going to grow beyond us. They keep multiplying. That's why we had 13 and 14 kids when we first came over here on the farm. That's why your grandmama come from 12 and 15 and so on. Because that was our culture. That's what he told us to do. When you came over here, they said, no, we're going to give you Planned Parenthood. You're going to stop having these babies.
Yeah, they did do that.
And we're going to sterilize you whether you like it or not. And we're going to sterilize you. We won't even tell you. And nobody knows that Planned Parenthood used to be called the Negro Project. Yes. Negro Project. Yes. Y'all want to vote for some Hillary Clinton. Oh, racist white lady that want to kill you. Yep. Who's founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sagan, she had the nerve to get on the Senate floor of the White House and say, this is my mentor. This is the person that I emulate after. The person that wanted to kill you. And because Bill Clinton played the sax, roll up a joint, you will say, oh, he one of us.